Hey everyone, Sari here, and welcome to the highlights from this week of Astra Season offense matches. I ended up sticking to a Gale Force approach this season. Winter Edelgard is an exceptionally strong unit for this, thanks to her flexible movement options and access to a third action every turn. The free second action from Raging Tempest lets her fully exploit her weapon's precharge effect, and can even let her fully charge Gale Force when attacking into 2 guard tempo users in a row. Together with having both Stride and Charge baked into her Beast slot, a full Pierce effect while solo, and the ability to deny miracle effects, she's very hard to stop once she gets on top of the enemy team. I mostly stuck to her base kit for the rest of her skills. While I have considered Still Water in her A slot for more consistent ploys, Prime is a very reasonable attack boosting option. Prayer does make play a bit less reliable, but it really helps her punch through anything that isn't under his wing. Edelgard's primary enabler on the team is Yuri. While she does have a number of great support options, including her other variations, Yuri is one of the best ways to make sure that she can reach the front line in the first place. Disarm Trap and a bit of health stacking allows him to safely defuse any trap in the game, and together with Foul Play it becomes trivial to get Edelgard into the right position to wreak havoc. His extra movement and Kanto play into this nicely, letting him navigate through trickier map layouts with ease. Sharena is doing her best as the bonus unit for the week. While she isn't exactly the best support option, carrying 2 opening skills does let her buff Edelgard's stats from anywhere on the map, and Smite is always a useful tool to get in reach of a long-range defense team. The Mythics, as usual, are here for support. Trace and a Flying Movement type let Thor and Naga be fairly mobile on the map, making it much easier to navigate through tight opening turns. Plumeria is the third key part of the squad. Soaring Guidance opens up a lot of movement options for the team, and a Kanto-enabled dance helps her to find an ideal spot to land. The donated Hexblade, Desperation, and Guaranteed Follow-Up are great effects for Edelgard too, letting her demolish even the sturdiest of walls. So let's get to the first match. This match was a neat one to run into partway through the week. It's a slightly modified version of the usual Hinoka charge formation, opting to bring a very impressive legendary Shez along as one of their threats. Even when both she and Hinoka are out of season, this is still an intimidating setup. It's tricky to get on top of them early thanks to the line of structures and mountains in front, with traps in their melee area, and the hardy fighter Femortis screening out ranged approaches, and the extra range that Hinoka gives the team really limits the safe areas to hide in. Claude rounds out their physical threats really well, and throws Rally Trap into Azura's dance, can easily let her get onto a unit you're trying to keep out of reach. All of that, together with the catapult in our safety fence lane, had me wondering if Edelgard would be the right approach for this, and I did end up finding a good way to start things off. Foul Play lets us get Edelgard past the initial wall, and smiting Naga over lets her break the structure and canter back to safety. Edelgard's health total lets her walk right onto that hex trap and take out Claude, and then Mirabilis. And then from here, we need to pull back and open up these last 2 structures.
Why not? Who's next?
Which will let our Odd Tempest Thor march all the way in, break the catapult, and Kanto back to safety. The first turn went pretty well, but unfortunately I had forgotten a key part of Thor's weapon, which ends up keeping Naga and Yuri locked down to 1 movement for this turn, which meant I needed to adjust my approach. We can still keep going here. Repositioning Edelgard forwards means she can march in and take out Hinoka. And I was planning to just pull out here and let Azura end up dancing Femortis when he moves first. Unfortunately, the fiery dragon veins here are actually backfiring on us. Since after Femortis moves to the left, Azura isn't going to be able to get in range of him to dance, which means that Shez gets danced instead, and we need to pull really far back if we want to actually stay safe this turn. Thankfully, we did manage to do that, and Shez's new position means that Edelgard has a very easy 1-2-3 punch to knock out the remaining problems on their team. After moving forward to get Shez, we can charge over to the right and take out Thor. And since Azura is only protected by the Hex Trap, that isn't real anyway, we can take her out last. And Mortis isn't going to be able to catch up to us on his own.
Close your eyes.
And the armored movement really holds him back. So we can just reposition Yuri forwards, have him pick up our first Aether pot, and then use Serene Guidance to pull him over to the other side of the map.
Yes.
And then from here it's easy to clean things up. Yuri can grab our second Aether pot, and then we can just dance Edelgard over to take down Mortis.
I will deliver.
This match featured a slightly more defensive formation. The layout does a good job of funneling combat into the center corridor, letting the team take full advantage of Sanaki's ploy and Ninyan's dance debuffs. The near save Idun is a neat twist, and together with the square of traps, makes it much more annoying to take a gale force approach to this setup. There's a lot of bulk here too. The combination of Freyr and Robin makes the entire squad much harder to break through, and Celica's Miracle can be a particularly sticky point for either tanking or gale force strategies. Celica's pre-charged AoE is a good complement to Sanaki too, creating a 1-2 punch that can demolish most tanks. I ended up taking a slightly modified approach to the start here. Having Edelgard reposition Yuri forwards puts both of them into a perfect position for Yuri to foul play her forward, defuse a trap, and give Edelgard access to Idun. Naga's Dragon Slaying lets her one-shot Idun pretty handily. And while we don't get any pre-charges from her weapon for that first combat, dropping this Fire Patch means that Edelgard gets a full gale force here, and a third action to retreat out of range with. From there, we just open up a couple of these structures in the front, and wait for the next turn.
Let's go.
This turn ended up being a little trickier than I would have liked. While I can just reposition Edelgard onto this second real trap,
Come along.
Freyr ends up being a little bit too bulky for her to take down in one hit here. So we spend her first two actions carving through Celica's Miracle before finishing her off. While Edelgard can neutralize Miracle effects, it's only against red opponents, or when she has a Fire Patch on the target she's attacking. We use her third action to take out Mirabilis,
Yes.
and then foul play Plumeria forward to give her a fourth action for the turn.
Why not?
Plumeria's Kanto lets her retreat just out of range of Ninyan and Robin,
Who's next?
and now that we've debuffed Freyr, Edelgard can move forward onto the fake trap and take him out, leaving her with a full health total to tank through Robin in this coming enemy phase. The full Pierce means that we don't have to worry about Gambit, and together with her color advantage, Robin's not going to survive this hit. Which just leaves us with Ninyan.
Where to, friend?
Picking up these pots ends up being fairly straightforward. Yuri can get the first one and reposition Thor lets her reach the second, which means that Edelgard can move in and close out the match. This match was a fun way to close out the week. It's an all-out charge line using a combination of ranged cavalry and charging flyers to threaten as much of the map as possible. It's a pretty dedicated tankbuster setup. All of their threats have access to some level of Pierce thanks to Camilla, while Azur and Chrom are extremely effective at helping the team find a follow-up on either the front or back lines. Together with lines of structures and traps and a Femortis to intercept any ranged approaches, this is a very intimidating layout, which of course makes it that much more satisfying to solve. I ended up taking a slightly different approach to this one. Rather than having Yuri get Edelgard over the wall, I had Naga open it up first to give him some room for a short-range foul play. It's still enough to put Edelgard in range of Camilla, and since she can ignore hex traps, that makes Camilla an easy first target. From there we can march forward and take down Chrom. And while it does look like Edelgard's a bit stuck here, we've actually planned out for this heavy trap, which does end up being real. Thor can move Plumeria forwards here, and thanks to these fire patches, we're going to be able to stay completely safe from their team this turn. Even if Edelgard is still very close to all of them here. Since neither of their cavalry can actually move past Femortis, and the only other units in range are protected by our safety fence, we still get to lock out their first turn. And from here, Edelgard is in walking distance of Femortis, and can start breaking through the rest of their team. Golveg goes down next. And then Edelgard can use her last action to take out Yanako, and also lock Azur in her corner. And with Azura boxed in, it's pretty easy to start cleaning the rest of this up.
I seek a foe.
We can pick up our first Aether pot this turn and move Yuri all the way forwards to get ready to pick up the next one on the next turn. And let us close out the week.
I won't disappoint.
Who's next?
It was another fun week of matches overall, even if bringing Serena along made team building a bit trickier than usual. We'll be season hopping as next week's bonus too, letting her see more action than she's had in a very long time. I do have a Discord channel if you'd like to hang out and chat. There's a link in the description, and I've also got a Patreon link there if you'd like to help support the channel. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video, good luck with your own matches, and I'll see you next time.